Something gotta change from the hotties and me.
For a moment in these past couple of years, Megan Thee Stallion had everybody raise their expectations about her and think of her to be the next big thing in hip-hop, but now it looks like everybody was just wrong about her because right now she looks to be facing a catastrophic fall that puts her career in a jeopardy. So Megan Thee Stallion has just released a new song, her first single of 2025, Whenever, but the song is not performing good at all, or at least it is not meeting the public's expectations or even hers. So chart data posted that Megan Thee Stallion's Whenever debuts at 157 on the US Spotify chart with 366k streams. Now the thing is, like I mentioned, everybody expected Megan Thee Stallion to be the next Nicki Minaj or Cardi B or even better, but with this kind of numbers, to be honest, it is not only the fans that were frustrated, but she was also frustrated with herself as well. But the problem is she blamed her fans for not streaming her song, talking about how they need to do better and how something has to change with her fans and with her too. Actually, what happened is she got on a live and she tried to say what she wanted to say, but she couldn't, and you could see it in her eyes that she was sad and didn't really know the right way to bring what she wanted to say out, and she ended up postponing it, saying that she will make a video about it, but you could clearly see that she wanted to address the flop of her song.
Something gotta change from the hotties and me. Maybe I need to come back when I feel like I can articulate what I want to say better. And maybe it'll be better if I made a video instead of talking on live. Cause I hate when I be on live and bitch the blogs, you know, the relationship that bitch I got with the blogs, bitch. I was feeling like, okay, because all y'all hate me, y'all gonna piece together whatever y'all want to piece from something stupid and make it a big deal that it's not. So I don't know. Somebody said you trying to sugarcoat it. It's not even nothing particularly bad about the hotties. I just want to express what I'm feeling in a clean way.
Now, putting aside her song flopping and focusing on the actual reason that it flopped, people have a lot to say, and I think most of the reasons that people have are interesting, so let us get into it. First and foremost, a lot of people are saying that Megan's song flopping is justified in some way because her music simply does not change. People are saying that her music basically sounds the same, and it gets to a point where people lose interest in listening to the same thing over and over again. Well, that's one theory that I kind of believe in, because if you listen to her music for 30 minutes straight, it kind of starts to blend in and gets boring. But that's one. And another reason that people think that her music flopped is because there is no drama. So Megan Thee Stallion has been involved in lots of drama ever since she started being in the spotlight. There's the Tory Lanez drama, there's also the beef with Nicki Minaj, and during these times her numbers were good, and now people are telling her that maybe if she was beefing with Nicki, then her numbers would rise again. Simply, Megan Thee Stallion is being boxed in the categories of those rappers who cannot release music without some PR stunts or causing some drama, and it is sad because again, people thought that she was going to be a big thing, but well, not all people, because some are calling her a pandemic artist and that they had to listen to her because they had no option, and now they are over her music. Anyway, DJ Academics had a whole different opinion on this, where he said that Megan's song doing so bad wasn't a shock to him necessarily, because at the end of the day, that is exactly what he expects from her, because he actually doesn't think that she's that good of a rapper, which in other words, I guess he thinks that Megan is overrated.
I'm not clowning Meg Thee Stallion for 1.2 million views or streams in 4 days. Here's why I'm not clowning her. We had this whole misconception that Meg Thee Stallion was like next up to be in the realm of like Cardi B, Doja Cat, and Nicki Minaj. That's just not true. Okay? In reality, Meg Thee Stallion is not even hotter than Glorilla. And I'm not saying this to disrespect her. I'm just saying the truth. So when y'all are telling me about flop, for me, a flop is always proportional. A flop means that you think this person is going to do this, but they do this, right? Like, for example, if we, like, you know, people call Uzi's last joint a flop because we thought he was going to do over 100, he did 60. That's why it's a flop. 60 these days for everybody else is like a really huge hit. But for him, it was seen as a flop. So it's all about what you expect versus what you get. For me, I don't have high expectations of Meg Thee Stallion. I don't think Meg Thee Stallion is that lit. I think all that hot girl shit, yeah, that's kind of cool, but I think Meg Thee Stallion is someone who's a mid-level female artist. I think her buzz died down a little bit. When she disappeared, I think people have kind of switched on her from the Tory stuff a little bit, and I think that she hasn't had a really hot song in a while. So when you want me to just clown her for flopping, it's like, what was the expectation of her doing? Meg isn't hot. Meg isn't Cardi. Meg isn't Nicki. What the hell you expect her to do in terms of numbers? Because I don't have that much expectations of her. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm just going to look at these numbers and I'm going to be like, yeah, that's kind of what I expect. Also, as she transitions to Roc Nation or however her contract's going to go, because she's off of 1501, even though she supposedly had some obligations left to, you know, she signed to Warner. Bro, she's just got to build back a little bit, man. I told you there's a lot of like obstacles in her way, but if you thought she was some huge artist, no. So 1.2 million streams in 4 days, that's about right. I don't think she's a huge artist at all.
Anyway, the internet is going crazy with this whole Megan's flop era, and people had a lot to say.
Megan Thee Stallion is not getting the numbers that she wants and is frustrated with her fans. And she's not evolving as an artist as she should be. So let's dissect this. Her image is drowned with drama, gossip, and lies. And all of this drama about the Tory Lanez, this and that, really put a halt on her career. It really put a bad taste in everyone's mouth because we're not worried about your music. We're worried about the drama, your personal life. She always in and out relationships, drinking, partying, this and that bullshit. And then you get into it with Nicki Minaj? Why would you create a beef with Nicki Minaj? The queen. Now, most of your fans are Nicki Minaj haters. You need the Barbs. Despite what y'all might think, Barbs run the female rap game. Period. So now your foundation is bullshit. Your fan base is a bunch of people that only fuck with you because you don't fuck with Nicki. The fuck? Yeah, it got you a #1 song, but it's like, now what? That little spark is gone. Now what you gonna do? You fucked up. Now it sounds like you keep putting out the same song over and over. What's wrong? You have to go back to the drawing board and you have to restart. Erase everything. It's nothing wrong with restarting, but the first impression is the best impression. And you fucked your first impression up with all of us.
This right here is a prime example of what we mean when we say Nicki Minaj always wins the war. 366,000 streams is embarrassing. Nicki Minaj sat up there and trolled that girl for 3 days straight, and y'all thought that she was having a quote-unquote coke rant. And now when history tells the story on female rap, her biggest moment besides WAP with Cardi B is going to be the his situation. So at the time, you can say Megan did win that battle because she did get the #1. But when history tells the story, that point is not going to go to Megan Thee Stallion. That point is going to go to Nicki Minaj because it's going to be a testament of her power and how strong of a female rapper she was. That same coke rant that y'all was talking about is going to be the same coke rant that in the future is going to highlight how powerful Nicki Minaj is. She's a very spiritually in tune person and they fight different. And I can tell that when she moves, she doesn't just move for short term. She thinks about the long term. She knows what she's doing. And then a few years from now, when we sit down and really get into female rap and how it started and how it's progressed, it's not going to look too good for Megan when it comes to the Nicki conversation. It's not going to look good for any of them because what y'all don't understand is that she's the queen of rap. It's not just a title, it is a fact. Out of every genre and everything from music down to acting, down to being a surgeon, there's somebody that's always going to be at the top. That's just how life works. And in female rap, in the case of female rap, it is Nicki Minaj. And there's nothing any of us can do about it. So when the story of female rap is being told, everybody's going to have to figure out what role they played because I'm pretty sure it's going to be centered around Nicki. Now, this is a pretty strong prediction, but I know it's facts. See, a lot of these rap girls don't understand is y'all are so caught up in the now and so caught up in the facade between these corporate giants and Nicki Minaj, not knowing that y'all are putting your career in risk and you guys are going to go down as collateral damage. And then when history tells a story about Nicki Minaj, you are going to be the villain in her story. And I'm pretty sure what she's been through and her story is going to be way more impactful than anything y'all have ever even been through. You guys are not victims. I'm telling you, this is all going to flip. The universe always gets the last laugh.
So last night, Megan Thee Stallion was on live and she was talking about how like something needs to change between her and how the hotties show up for her. And I feel like she's taking this a lot more personally than she should when the answer is really simple. And I'm not one of the people who's going to say her flow is the same. If you think her flow is the same, just go play bourbon. Just go play bourbon. She has several flows. She does not change the tone of her voice, which that doesn't bother me. But the problem is, if you weren't grown when Beyonce dropped self-titled and you did not watch her actively shift how projects are rolled out to like surprise drops, then you just don't notice. Maybe you do know or you just don't remember this being how things were done, but you didn't just post. Promoting an album is not posting a picture on Instagram, or promoting music is not posting a picture on Instagram with a caption, tell me the day it comes out. That's not promoting. I love Megan, so this is not no shade, but baby, you're not a legacy artist. You are not a legacy artist trying to do things that are reserved for legacy artists. Unfortunately, and that's not just you. That's everybody right now. Everyone thinks they can just post some artwork on Instagram and Twitter and then that's gonna make people go listen to the album. That's not it. And the numbers tell us that that's not it. But aside from that, this song in particular, Whenever, the verses are really good. The chorus sucks. The verses are good. I forgot to listen to it. And when I was on a road trip, it came up like just on a playlist. And at first I'm like, damn, did I miss a Megan song? What song is this? And that's when I saw it was her new song. And I was vibing with the verses, but that chorus is cheeks. You need to get somebody to write these choruses. Or you need to start having more features on your songs. And not these collab songs with Dua Lipa and shit. You need to have somebody sing the choruses to your regular rap songs like they did back in the day. And I thought that Megan Act 2 was actually better than the original album. But the singles you put out from that project sound a lot like the singles that are already out. You should have put out, I like Bigger in Texas. I think Bigger in Texas is one of her best songs. But you should have put out some other songs because that album is musically very diverse. So to sum it up, you need to actually promote your music. Yeah, I know you probably don't want to do interviews because of how people treat you, but I interview you, bitch. I don't know. And we need to mix up who we're working with. We need to try some new producers, some new sounds. We need to mix it up because the bars are still there, but the songs themselves we need a little bit more life in them, sister.